Okay, I'm back. Now that TikTok will let me stream again. Let me throw some of this synthwave, dreamwave, vaporwave, chill synth on. Let me close some shit. I probably should have done this earlier. Close that, close that. What else do I need to close? Close you. Close you for now. You're all fine. Okay, so, right. So, the plan is today, more editing. Finally, we've got this section of script done. So I'm going to be working on this section. It's taken a while to get this bit done, about 2 weeks, because it's just been me writing this time. Been very busy, so my partner has not had time to edit the script or write much. So I've been doing that, and now it's done, and now I can work on it, and it's louder. To bring our protagonist to life, we needed an artist. I'm worried it's a bit fast, but you know. So cut that maybe. An artist. So we enlisted the help of art boy extraordinaire Dark Violet Cloud. And then Dark Violet goes. So that's Dark Violet needs to come in there. Put there. Hello. I created 3 rough mood boards using the data we had collected for reference, as well as sharing the data and the script. We wanted him to have all the information we had while working on the art. This is... I mean, it's still me. I'm much more upbeat than here. To sum up each anime, we then decided on the actual protagonist data we wanted. Age, gender, hair color, eye color, ethnicity, and sexuality were the 6 we picked. For this era of anime, a lot of that information wasn't super relevant or available at all, but we collected it just in case. While specific ages are the norm for... I went with a much more high-pitched kind of intonation and tone for the new recording, like boards using the data we had collected for reference, as well as sharing the data and the script. We want it's the way I delivered it. I delivered it the way I deliver it, so that's fine. What did I do last time? I had it like this, and then the TikTok monitor here, so I can see the TikTok chat if needed. But I can also still see the stream, which is working. As far as I can tell, everything's working and nothing's broken. Okay. I need 3 monitors. I need 4 monitors. But hopefully the music's not too loud. Everything is good and working. Let's edit. Let's edit some shit. This is the pre-war mood board that I sent over. I do have that pre-war mood board somewhere sitting around, like already prepped. Go back. Assets folder. This one. The pre-wartime characters. This is the mood board that I made. Oh, it's full screen. I might not have it full screen though. Put it like that. So this is interesting. It's actually, because I've got like a few different styles of things. This is the general key characteristics of this period of anime. And then I've got the kind of clothing and like snippets from the anime of the time, which is interesting because I did find other stuff later on in the research. So I kind of don't like, hi, by the way, just saw you in chat. So there is certain things I kind of wish I'd redone, but it's fine. Let me grab a screenshot actually so I can show off. No, I don't need to do that yet. I'll come in later. We did have an artist, a friend of ours, work on the characters for this video, so it should be really good, hopefully, when it comes out. I'll leave that there for now, though. I just wanted to make sure I got some You can hear all the retakes I have done. There's quite a few retakes, and hopefully I can skip over any time I'm like coughing or dying, because I do slightly have a cold, which is amazing timing. Probably accurate clothing on there, as well as example reasonably accurate clothing on there, as well. Well as cut there. Reasonably accurate clothing on there. I don't like that. Reasonably accurate. Kind of the way it goes. Accurate clothing on there. It's probably fine. As well as example clothing on there. As well as. Okay, so if I cut there. As well, cut there, and then that should sound pretty good. Clothing on there, as well as examples from anime of this period. Yeah, that sounds alright. I am the audio doctor. I try my best. It's hard. It's really hard to get audio to kind of sound good. But like, especially recordings are a nightmare. That's always fun. I say fun. Fun is a strong word. Anyway. Supposed to quickly communicate what the data shows. According to the... So it's like data and data in the script there, which I don't love. It's supposed to quickly communicate what the data shows. According to the data... According to the data, the average anime protagonist from 1917 to 1930 is a black-haired, black-eyed person of no specific age, and... what's this take like? According to the data, the average anime protagonist from 1917 to 1930 is a black-haired, black-eyed person of no specific age and sexuality, but they are Japanese. No sniffles. They are Japanese. But they are Japanese. They are Japanese. I immediately got gross. But they are Japanese. I think that is the best take. This era and sexuality, but they are. But they, and then I go, but they. Sexuality, but they are. Maybe there. But they are Japanese. Sexuality, but they are Japanese. Yeah, that sounds alright, I think. This era... Cut that breath, maybe? Japanese. This era was often in black and white and uses a lot of fables and fairy tales as a narrative basis. This era... I kind of want to keep breaths that are kind of quick, like you know, not like a gasp, like a... But, like, I don't know if I want to keep... breaths that are too long. So this like that's a deep breath, whereas so if I cut that one out, basis. This era is also, it feels a bit more fluid, but I don't want it to feel too fluid. I want it to have like some level of humanity in the delivery. Primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. Did I retake that line? Viola also. This era is also primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. It's not terrible. I'm gonna mark it as red for retake. But I do think it's probably fine. I've actually gotten a lot better at delivering kind of interesting dialogue because I've been doing a lot of the TikToks and I've been recording those. Hi, hello in chat. I like saying chat. Makes me feel like a real streamer. Viola also did his own research, which is great because we had some level of bias when creating the mood boards, and he would pick up on it, and he would... Okay, cut that. The mood boards, and I recorded this yesterday. I was very tired, so I hope it doesn't come through. And he would pick up on his own trends and be inspired by different elements. And he would pick up on his own trends, and he would pick up on his own trends or be inspired by different elements. Why did I redo that so many times? And he would pick up on his own trends and be inspired by different elements. And he would pick up on his own trends or be inspired by different elements. Think the last one is a better take. So, I do like doing the visuals more. That's more fun, but I've got so much voiceover to edit, so I'm here. Ugh, take me back. Let me do visuals. Ooh, visuals! Yay, visuals!
It really makes my dick hard. We hope to do
I forgot about that joke.
videos for every decade after this, but unfortunately the data...
Okay, cool. So, while he's off doing that, let's explore the data and history a little bit more. Do you like that a little bit? Do I like that a little bit more?
While he's off doing that, let's explore the data and history a little bit more.
I think that's okay. Live visibility restricted. Yep, that happens every time. I do not know why. Do not ask me why. I don't know what I did.
Do you like that a little bit? I added a little.
That's not take. That's just chatting.
This period had 30 anime, give or take.
Hello. I filled the bottle with ice because I was annoyed at the restaurant. You know what? Fair enough. You deserve that ice.
This period had 30 anime, give or period had 30 anime, give or take. Had 30 anime, give or take what we could
Oh yeah, okay, that's a better delivery.
find, and spanned 13 years. It had the least 13 years. It had the least women of the three. It had the
It's a very male-centric anime of this period. That period being 1910 to 1930-ish. No, 1910 to... Yeah. It went everywhere? Oh my god.
least women of the three eras. Samurai and spanned 13 years. Women of the three eras. Samurai
Oh no!
eras. Samurai.
I did get the simul streaming to work, as people on TikTok can tell, but I'm also streaming on YouTube if you want the full screen. But, because TikTok banned me for some reason for X amount of days, and then I had to appeal. I don't know what I did. Truly, I actually have no idea.
Of the three eras. Samurai were a common theme, and although they were only
I don't like that mouth click.
common theme, and although samurai were a common theme, and although they were
I didn't finish saying theme. Why?
samurai were a common theme, and although they were only active 50 years before these were made, they very much pull on folklore and older, and although they were only active 50 years before these were made, they
I think I want to redo all of this section maybe later.
were a common theme,
Because I didn't finish saying theme for some
and
reason.
although they were only active 50, they very
Get rid of that breath.
were made, they very much pull on folklore and older, more much pull on folklore and old
Does that work?
folklore and the folklore and the
If we do it from there.
folklore and the older
Why do you say like which I think is maybe a fine follow through.
folklore and the older folklore and the older
It's not bad. It's not a bad cut.
pull on folklore and the older, more folklore and the
Maybe I retake that one too. What?
folklore and older,
I mean, I got the older there.
more an older, more
An old.
an older,
Okay, so if I do I got the old, right?
the older
I got there. If I do it like this.
folklore and older, more mythological interpretation of what a samurai was.
Does that make sense now?
Very much pull on folklore and older, more mythological interpretation of what a samurai was.
Interpretations.
Very much pull on folklore and older,
Should I get coffee? You should get coffee. 100%.
more mythological interpretation of what a samurai was.
I think it's okay. I do think it doesn't make as much sense as it could, which is gonna bother me. And if it bothers me enough, I'll redo the section. But for now, I think it's fine. I'm trying to be nice to myself.
One of the earliest anime, Namakura Gatana, is a comedy about a samurai whose sword is too dull for him to kill passing civilians, based on the fun historical concept of
I honestly think this take might be too loud, so I'm gonna pop it down one for now.
too dull for him to kill passing civilians, based on the fun historical concept of Sujigiri. Instead,
Tsujigiri, not fun. That's the comedy there. Knock him out and he complains about almost being killed. It's 4 minutes killed. It's 4 minutes long. Cut that breath, maybe? Killed. It's 4 minutes. No, actually. Killed. It's 4 minutes. Cut there, that gap. Killed. It's 4 minutes long and consists of a classic 4-act structure, often seen in 4-koma manga. Am I going too fast? I'm going too fast. Still think I'm going too fast. It's 4 minutes long. 4-act structure, often seen. It is 4 minutes long and consists of a classic 4-act structure, often seen in 4-koma manga. It's 4 minutes long and consists of a classic 4-act structure, often seen in 4-koma. Think the second take is better. Making decisions hurts my brain. A magazine of the time referred to one scene as being too drawn out. Presumably a TikTok user who... No shade, just funny joke. Isekai to 1917 Japan. Presumably a TikTok user... Drawn out. Presumably a too drawn out. Presumably a TikTok user who was isekai to 1917 Japan. It has a 5... That's pretty good. User who was isekai to 1917 Japan. It has a 5 point... It has a 5... I think I'm too harsh in my delivery. Like, I feel like it could be better. Maybe. Mayhap. But who knows? 0.49 on Mal. 5.49 on Mal. Okay, ranking it on the same level. Ranking it on the same level as Isekai Cheat Magician. That Mal. 0.49 on Mal. Okay, that click. I need to redo that. Take. Rose. There's a few retakes already, but that's okay, I expected that. At this time, Japan was characterized... Well, the spikes aren't great. At this time, Japan... Spill out. And those spikes. At this time, Japan was characterized by a settling of democracy in the wake of the Meiji Restoration. But I think when I export it, it'll even it all out. As well as the... Maybe. I did an audio match to this version of me. Fur is occasionally classified as hair, and most of the animals historically been stereotyped as a boys' club by Western fans, leading a lot of people who would by Western fans, leading a lot. It's a mouth click there. Fans, leading. I can get rid of that. Fans, leading a lot of people who. Cut there, cut there, cut there, cut there. Western fans, leading a lot of people who would love anime to just not bother. I'm gonna be so judgy of my previous work, but I don't have time to redo all this. I want to get this video done by the end of the year. As well as the new influence of Western culture and arts. There was also a good There was also a post-World War I boom in the economy, but that had already collapsed midway through this period. Partially due to... It's okay. Partially due to the change in power from Emperor Taisho to Emperor Showa, expansion into Korea... Expansion into China, Mongolia... Expansion into Korea, Mongolia, and China... Expansion into Korea, Mongolia, and China also occurred in this era and would lay the groundwork for the following era's nationalism. From this we can see a... Okay. Does that flow well, these two sections? Partially due to the change in power from Emperor Taisho to Emperor Showa, expansion into Korea, Mongolia, and China also occurred in this era and would lay the groundwork for the following era's nationalism. From this we can see a lot of interesting things. Unlike my TikToks, the YouTube videos are very history heavy. I mean, history intense. First of all, anime reviewers have interesting things. Cut there. Interesting things. First of all, anime reviewers.
have always been like that. First of all, anime reviewers have always been like that. First of all, anime reviewers have always... I don't like that gap there. First of all, anime reviewers have always been like that. Secondly, we should be viewing... Can I cut that little click there? That one. Death to click. No mouth clicks. We should be viewing these anime as what they are. Oh, so sorry. I was fucking dying. Secondly, we should be viewing these anime. Secondly, we should be viewing these anime as what they are. Wow, my voice is already sore. Yeah, that's bad. Did I eat the grape? Secondly, we should be viewing these anime as what they are. First, we should be viewing these anime as what they are. Okay, cut that. Cut. We should be viewing these anime as what they are. My voice is already sore by this point in the recording. That's not good. Wow, my voice is already sore. Oh yeah, redo. Secondly, we should be viewing these anime as what they are. First, wow, my... get rid of that click. Can I slot this one in here? And will that work? As what they are. They are. I'm gonna mark it as red and do a retake. And if it's better, then I'll keep the retake. Secondly, we should be viewing these anime as what they are. First attempts at a difficult and new art form. Secondly, we should be viewing these anime as what they are. First attempts. Secondly, we should be viewing these anime as what they are. First. Is this better? Secondly, we should be viewing these anime as what they are. Secondly, we should be viewing these anime as what they are. No, I actually kind of like this take more. Maybe it's fine. Maybe I don't need to redo it. Cerulean? No. What color am I doing this as? Caribbean? Yeah. I'll leave it, and if when I'm going through next, I hate it, then I won't. You know what I need? I need something more exciting music-wise. VHS 1998, very good. Gimme... This one better. Gimme the like a chill Persona 4 OST that I've heard before. Of course I have. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Got to live. Oh, money is got to live. Cool. First attempts are difficult and new. First attempts at a very difficult and new art form. The animation. The animation is simple, and so are the stories, but that's no less impressive. Unfortunately, much like early animation in the West, preservation wasn't really at the top of anyone's agenda, and less so mid. I like this little more. See if I can splice that. Less so mid the. Cut there. And less so mid the war to end all wars. So most of the anime from the 2010s are just a sliver of what researchers could find. There could have been hundreds of anime, but in our dataset we just have 6. There could have been hundreds of anime. There could have been hundreds of anime, but in our data set we just have 6. There could have been hundreds of anime. But in our dataset, we just have 6. That's okay. Most of which,
My first take's fine.
are short historical folklore-inspired works. For example, the 1917 anime Urashima Taro is a folklore originating in the 8th century about a man who goes fishing and then is swept away by the waves.
I think my delivery is getting better as I go through, even if my voice is getting rougher. I think the way I'm saying it's better.
He goes on an adventure in Ryukyujo, the underwater dragon palace. He goes on adventures in Ryugyujo, the underwater dragon palace. When he returns, over 100 years has passed.
Here?
Years has passed. My favorite bit of this adaptation is when he meets the turtle and just yoop.
Okay, so that is a sound effect I'm gonna add later. Everything is something I'll add later. Zip. SFX. So I remember. And change that later. Rose, cool.
It's also bathed in a red hue, a common money. It's also bathed in this red hue, a common money to red hue. A common in this red hue.
I don't like the way I say hue.
Red hue, a common money. Red hue, a common. Also bathed in this red hue.
Hue. Okay, I do want to redo that, maybe.
A common money saving decision of the era was to use cheap colored cellophane instead of fancy.
Oh, why'd I do that?
Cellophane instead of fancy.
Okay, there's the of there, so if I cut that to there, cut that like that.
Instead of fancy clear cellulose.
Ho ho ho! Audio surgeon.
This anime was believed.
You tell me good night. Ba ba da da. Actually, is the stream on YouTube working? I haven't checked. Let me do that now. I'm assuming it is, but I did not double check. Before you leave, everything on your mind. Da, 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 yeah, it is working on the YouTube. Good. Do check out our YouTube. This is the second channel I'm streaming on, but the main channel is very good. I would like to say this is videos go on the main channel. You can see it's about almost 10 minutes, like 8 minutes ish so far. It's probably about 40 minutes when I'm done. I want to get this section done by the end of the month. Oh, I can so do that. If I do a good amount today, good amount tomorrow, good about Thursday, good about Friday, good about Saturday, Sunday, and never stop working, then I'll get there in the end.
This anime was believed to be a work by Seitaro Kitayama while working for the... This anime...
I still think I'm speaking too fast. It'll do.
It was believed to be a work by Seitaro Kitayama while working for Nippon Katsu Sashin... While working for Nippon Katsu Sashin Corporation.
What gets me about that is I keep wanting to say the Nippon Katsu Sashin Corporation, or Katsudo.
Working for Nippon Katsu Sashin Corporation.
It's the Nippon Katsudo session.
Working for Nippon Katsu Sashin.
Is it? Let me check the script. Scroll. Nippon Katsudo Sashin Corporation. Cool, read that line.
be a work by Satoru Kitayama while working for Nippon Katsu Sashin while working for Nippon Katsu Sashin Corporation. But newly discovered magazine believed to be a work by Satoru Kitayama while working for Nippon I'm gonna edit it so I know exactly what bit, but I will be retaking this because I said Nippon Katsu, not Nippon Katsu Do, which seems irrelevant, but I care. Katsudo Sashin, by the way, just means moving picture, so it's just a moving picture corporation. But newly discovered magazines bring into question if it is that animation. No doubt it's an adaptation of Urashima Taro, but is it Satoru Kitayama's work? Who knows? Most of these debates translated into English, and what we do no doubt it's an animation of Urashima Taro, but is it Satoru Kitayama's work? Who Urashima Taro, but is it? Who knows? Who knows? Most of the Who knows? Which who knows do you prefer? Who knows? Most of these first one I think I prefer. Call made. Decision made. Work. Who knows? Most of these debates are. Who knows? Who knows? English stops sounding like English the more I say it. Doodle-doo-doo. 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 Who knows? Most of these debates aren't being translated into English, but what we do get to read is fascinating. There's an ironic element of shadow play where we just get the outline of information cast by external sources. Was Nemakurogatana boring because it actually had a runtime of 5 hours but only 3? Was Nemakurogatana boring because it actually had a runtime of 5 hours? Had a runtime of I want that time because I like the delivery at the beginning of this bit better. Because it actually had a runtime of cut there and then like this because it actually had a runtime of 5 hours but only 3 minutes survived, or was that reviewer just a dick? We don't know. And the language barrier survived, or was that reviewer just a dick? We don't. I feel like I always get too close. Minute cuts. You were just a dick. We don't know. And the language barrier magnifies it 100 times. It's okay. It's an okay delivery. Just keep that in mind with all of this. It's data and analysis, but at any moment we could. It's data and analysis, but at all of this. It's data and mind with all of this. It's cut that there. With all of this, it's data and analysis, but at any moment we could find that everything we based it on was totally off. God, I hope it isn't. Was totally off. God, I hope it isn't though. This took months. The 1920s plus 1930 are a slight. The 1920s plus. Cut that shorter a little bit so it feels like I'm competent. 1920s plus 1930. Oh my god, audio takes so long. Cutting audio takes so long. What am I still missing from the bits I've already edited? I'm missing this joke. I need to do. I mean, I don't know why I haven't got it marked, but we're missing the whole live action segment is missing still. And we're missing. What's this? Oh, add timecode, which I can do as soon as I've added those ones. Okay. And then this. What was the issue here? I can't remember.
styles of presentation, which would have been less obvious than just the raw data. And you can make your own decisions, because we've made a read-only version of the file. Honestly,
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I need to double check the supporters list before we post it as well. The 1920s plus 1930 are a slightly more exciting decade with 24 anime in our data. The earliest anime is Norama na Jiji in 1924. Norama na Jiji na Jiji. Stupid old man, you old fool, something like that, translation wise. Gigi in 1924. We have no data between 1918 and the early 1920. Oh wait, we have no data between 1918 and early 1920. We have no data between 1918 and early 1924, presumably because of the presumably 24. Cut that there, and that in. 1924, presumably because of the 1923 Great Kanto earthquake. Damn, that earthquake destroyed so much valuable animation. As far as we know, the catastrophe destroyed a lot of the animation from this period. As far as we know, the catastrophe destroyed a lot of the animation from this period. That's okay. I feel like I'm slurring a little bit. The catastrophe destroyed a lot of information from this period. Speaking of missing data, if you notice any gaps in our data, then feel free to let us know down in the comments. I know for a fact that we're missing some anime, but back to Norama. We're missing some anime, but back to Norama Najiji, or an old fool. Najiji, or an old fool. Or an old fool. Fool! An old fool. But back to Norama Najiji, or an old fool. It's about... Do I like this one? Is this one fun? Anime, but back to Norama Najiji, or an old fool. Yeah, that's fine. Back to Norama Najiji, or an old fool. It's about an... I think the first take is fine. Older man bumbling around a city and getting into trouble. It has a nice papercraft feel with obvious layers of cards stacked on top of each other to create... It has a nice papercraft... It has a really nice... I can't help myself from adding, like, really and kind of exaggerated additions. Instead of saying, like, oh, that's really nice, I'm like, that's really nice! Or, like, instead of, that's good, that's really good. It's part of my soul. This papercraft feel with obvious layers of cards stacked on top of each other to create depth. The man himself is made of multiple layers so he can articulate. He's a puppet. Unlike Urashima Taro, this is seemingly a unique story, but with what we know about its production, that being nothing, we can only guess. With all the work put into inventing a medium, they probably didn't think to make a behind-the-scenes tour. Bastards. It's fascinating. There actually is a behind-the-scenes tour, but it kind of comes into the 30s, which is super annoying, because this is not the exact period we're talking about. Boo. Boo. Fascinating that during this period, the age of protagonists isn't very set. There are children and adults, and the ambiguity of it all makes the industry feel very young. There's the very again that wasn't in the script. Because I genuinely can't help myself. They aren't targeting a specific demographic because the industry hasn't developed yet. It's just about showing these to anyone who wants to see the magic of the craft.
Is that good?
Anyone who wants to see the magic of the craft. Although almost all the protagonists are men and boys. Maybe because most of the artists were men, or maybe not. The one exception is 1925's Kanimanji Enji. The one exception
Kanimanji Enji.
1925's Kanimanji Enji, about a young lady who Enji, about a
Cut that.
Kanimanji Enji, about a young lady about a
Cut that off. I'll feel better.
about a young lady who saves a crab. This is the founding myth of a millennial who saves a crab.
It is.
This is
It's
the-
about a woman who saves a crab.
The founding myth of a millennia-old Buddhist temple.
No.
This is the founding myth of a millennia-old Buddhist temple.
I like the delivery there.
This is the founding myth of a millennia-old Buddhist founding myth of a millennia-old Buddhist temple in Kyoto. But picking that myth was a deliberate choice, and they chose to make an animation telling a story of a kind woman. Towards the end,
Maybe I want, like...
story of a kind woman. Towards the end of the decade,
Yeah, that's fine.
animators were already pushing the medium with more complex stories and visuals. 1929's Kobutori.
I like the
Stories-
delivery of 1929 better here.
1929's 1929
So that would be there.
1929's Kobutori. 1929's Kobutori is a fantastic example. With detailed adult characters, it stands out amongst the Western animation that was being imported into Japan at the time.
I do feel a little nasally,
With
but again, it is what it is.
detailed adult characters, it stands out amongst the Western animation that was being imported into Japan at the time. It stands out amongst the Western animation that was being imported into Japan at the time. With detailed adult characters, it stands out amongst the Western animation that was being imported into Japan at the time.
I think I prefer that take.
Being imported into Japan at the time is a fantastic example with detailed
Cut that there.
with detailed
That.
fantastic example with detailed adult characters. It stands out
I don't like that cut, actually.
example with detailed adult characters. Detailed adult characters. Adult characters.
There.
Example with detailed adult characters.
With detailed...
It stands out.
With...
Example with detailed adult.
See if I cut to adult there. Sounds as if it's really jarring, it's very obvious that it's a different take.
With detailed adult characters, it stands out amongst the Western animation that was being imported into Japan at the time.
That sounds right.
The last anime we have for this period is Muramatsuri. This one seems to be a music video or a sing-along for a jazz rendition of a children's song, or at least it's sung by a child. Or at least it's sung by a child. Or at least it's sung
Maybe I'll keep that, or... make the extra.
rendition of a children's song, or at least it's sung by a child. The song itself is called Village sung by a child. The song itself is called Village Festival, which is the same name as the animation. I think
Animation.
it's supposed to be sweet, but the version we get to watch just shy of 100 years later is a little creepy. You can at least find much better recordings of Swing Nippon jazzing up the melodies on YouTube.
I should take breaks between sentences. I think the flow is much
The rest
better
of it-
here.
And then I can control the gaps. The album is much jazzier too. The audio in this anime really confused me while researching because sources point to the first anime to have sound being 1933's Chikara to Onna no Yoku, being 1933 sound being 1933's Chikara to Onna no Yoko no Naka, 3 years after Muramatsuri. Actually, on the spreadsheet we have anime with sound as far back as Usagi to Kame in 1924. What's going on here? Yes. Okay. So put that together, and that section brings me past 15 minutes. I'm happy with that, and then we've got a little bit more, so should end up being somewhere around here by the time this section is complete. How long did that take me? 45 minutes? Okay. Now I need to edit it. I'm already tired. This is not good. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna go to the toilet. Pissing. And then I'll be back. And I'm gonna come back with a drink and stuff. And then we'll do some visuals. Happy times! Fun stuff. Okay, I return. Gotta make sure to get rid of the pissin icon that I made. Let's change the energy with the song. What am I feeling? Persona 5? 2 hours of chill video game music? I do want it to be somewhat chill. Fucking really like Rat Taxi, but that is someone's work, and I don't want to... Obviously, this is someone's work too, but I don't mind too much if it's an OST. What we feeling? What's the vibe? Bada bada bang. Bada 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 bada. Hum. Relaxing JRPG music to sleep and study to. What games we got? Hack Infection. Do I recognize any of these? Dark Chronicle? I have played Dark Chronicle. Ooh, this makes me want to play more Dark Chronicle, actually. Suikoden Tales of the Abyss music. Hold. I don't love Tales of the Abyss. I really like the opening to Tales of the Abyss. Huh. Hidden Leaf Village ambiance. It's not bad. Also, I'm not showing you, but the videos are really cool 3D render. God damn. It's pretty cool. Anyway. Cool, where we at? What's happening?
Protagonists.
Yes, I do not have the intro card created yet. Should probably get working on that too. To bring our protagonist to life, we needed an artist. So cool. We enlisted the help of art boy extraordinaire Dark Violet Cloud. And then Dark Violet goes, cool, okay. I have my jaw clenched so tight there for some reason. Okay, Dark Violet Cloud. Dark Violet Cloud. I saw on the most recent video I posted to TikTok, which is about like hot takes, someone was like 99% of anime has incest. It really fucking doesn't. Bothers the hell out of me when people say shit like that, because you're giving the complete wrong impression. If 99% of the anime you watch has it in, that's a you problem. The anime I watch does not have incest in it nearly that frequently. And if it is there, it's a joke. And there's a difference between like a joke where they're like, oh my god, that's so stupid and gross, versus that's the intent. Yeah. Intent, very important. Anyway, Dark Violet Cloud. YouTube. Do I even have the right folder open? I do. Scroll by date. Scroll down. Cool. Protagonist to life, we needed an artist. So we enlisted the help of art boy extraordinaire Dark. Drop shadow, slight motion. Actually, I might have a pop in too. Little bit blurry. It's a little bit blurry. Maybe I should go back here and zoom in a bunch and get a higher resolution screenshot. I've lost my mouse. Thank you.
Cool, yep, updated. Now it's higher resolution. Perfecto. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And if I want the pop-in sound effect, do I have one here stored? I think I do.
It has over 500 entries, the 2000s over 2000, follow-up videos for every decade after that.
No. Listed as various in the data.
Finally, we got the majority.
I want a pop-in sound effect. Like a... which I'm pretty sure I have somewhere around here.
Crunch though.
Yeah. Dark violet. Okay, scroll down a smidge. Yeah, there you go. Perfecto. The cloud. To bring our protagonist to life, we needed an artist, so we enlisted the help of... Maybe I want... I'm pretty sure I have, yeah, Blue Period in here somewhere. Maybe this section's good. Go here. To bring our protagonist to life, we needed an artist. So enlisted the help of artist. So we enlisted the help of art boy extraordinaire. There. Think. To bring our protagonist to life, we needed an artist. So we enlisted the help of art boy extraordinaire, and then it's the I to emphasize. Art boy extraordinaire, dark violet cloud. That maybe? Oops. Of art boy extraordinaire, dark violet cloud. And then dark violet goes, hello. I created 3 rough mood boards. Cool. And then I want the mood boards here. I think will look nice. I created 3 rough mood... Okay, give me the other mood boards. So I got the pre-war, the post-war, and the wartime. I created 3 rough... So I'm doing the clicks because that's when I want to pop in. So I want to... 3 rough mood... Pre-war. And then I'll take the same length of time again. Chop, chop, chop. There. And then that's where the post-war comes in. 3 rough mood boards using the data we had collected. Created 3 rough mood boards using the data we had collected for reference, as well as sharing the data and the script. We had collected for reference, as well as sharing the. And then I want that to stop there, maybe. So I created 3 rough mood boards using the data we had. Or maybe they should stack. That might be nice. Let me make this. Oh, I don't know. 70. Yeah, okay. Let me give all of them a drop shadow. And I'll have them pop in too, so they can pop. And then give me the same scale as them, but I can rotate you slightly. I do like doing this where it stacks them on top of each other and they've all got drop shadows, so it looks nice, and then kind of goes like that. A little bit. Maybe I need a harsher drop shadow. Yeah, actually, that looks quite cool. Let me delete the nice drop shadow.
So it's not like super intense. Whoops. Normal. Delete that one. And that one. I created 3 rough mood boards using the data we had collected. Okay, maybe it could be a little faster. Created 3 rough mood boards using the data we had collected for reference, as well as sharing the data and the script. And then, data. Scroll you across. As well as sharing the data. Data? So that, again, same deal. Select all, copy, paste. Although I do want it to be larger. Maybe give it that kind of rotation. And honestly, maybe the drop shadow is a bit too intense for this one. Because of the size. Reference, as well as sharing the data and the... Whoops. God, this song is sad. Naruto? Hello? Give me some happy Konoha. Are they all sad? Konoha! Bruh! Delfino Plaza. As well as sharing the data and the script. Cool, now I need to screenshot the script. I think this part of the script, which is the bit I'm literally just reading, is probably the funniest bit to put on. Ooh, actually, hold on. Let me highlight that section. Script screenshot. Bring the data and the script. And the script. Script. We wanted. Bring the data and the script. Pop in, pop in. You see that's why these take so goddamn long. 3
rough mood boards using the data we had collected for reference, as well as sharing the data and the script. Cool, that seems good, right? I created 3 rough mood boards using the data we had collected for reference, as well as sharing the data and the script. We wanted him to have all... Okay, now I want some kind of clip of someone in an anime... Pet Girl of Sakuraso could be a good one. Let me have a look at Pet Girl of Sakuraso. When Cloudflare was down, I couldn't download any anime for the use in videos, which is a problem. Anyway. Luckily it's back now. I'm gonna have to properly scroll, so it's gonna take a second. Maybe Pet Girl of Sakuraso is not a good example. I'm thinking it might not be a good example. What's some anime where they draw? Like, I'm thinking... Maybe... Bakuman? Isn't a bad shout. If I go for... Bakuman... Oh my god, there's some dubbed episodes? Hello? I didn't know that.
Yes, thank you very much.
I hate that there's anime ratio in the fucking top corner. It's gonna kill me. Also, the quality of this is shocking. Maybe let's try the subbed version. Season 1, episode 6. A bluebird. Do 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 do. This has got the Kiss Anime logo in the top left. Ah, rawr. That sucks. There's a really specific clip I want. Maybe I need the bit where they introduce the new... like the rival character. Okay, this episode's all drama. I'm trying to find this one clip so hard and I can't find it. It's gonna kill me. There's just such a specific scene I want. I mean, that's pretty good. I think that'll do. I don't want to spend a million years looking for this one clip, so I think I'll just cave and use this bit. So that is Bakuman. Assets. Correct folder. Bakuman Season 1, Episode 8, English sub, because the dub had a horrible logo in the top right. So I just have to make do. Come hither, Bakuman! Cool, and how was the bit I want? First up, scale it. They were like drawing, was that early on in the episode? This isn't bad. There was like a dipping the pen into ink that I thought was quite cool. I wanted to use them Drawin. I like that. It was the yippee. Yippee! Okay. So after this. Yeah, this one, this bit. I think it's quite cool. Dips into the ink. Anyway, that was all for that, so... Oh god, I take too long, man. Nope. There. We wanted him to have all the information we had while working on the art. This is the pre-war mood board that I... And then, yeah, the pre-war. Which obviously I don't need to pop in or anything, but... Okay, and also... I'm pretty sure I've shown off blue period clips already, so I don't need to label it, but I do want to label this one because I haven't shown it off yet. Bakuman. So then it flows like this. I created 3 rough mood boards using the data we had collected for reference, as well as sharing the data and the script. We wanted him to have all the collected for reference, as well as sharing the data. I want it to go on the like here-ish. As well as sharing the data and the script. Bring that forward as well. I feel like it feels better when you have something come in on the instead of the actual thing. Sharing the data and the script. Yeah, that feels better. We wanted him to have all the information we had while working on the art. This is the pre-war mood board that I sent over. I wanted to make sure I got some reasonably accurate clothing on there, as well as examples from anime of this period. It's supposed to quickly communicate what the data shows. According to the data, the average anime protagonist from 1917 to 1930... Okay, and I'll give you some slight motion so you can just like wobble about a little bit. I think that should look nice. I got an error. My microphone is unmuted and has no signal. 18 minutes ago. Was that when I muted myself to go to the toilet by any chance? Thank you for informing me though, computer. That's real chill of you. Have all the information we had while working on the art. This is the pre-war... Ooh, I don't like whatever happened there. Ah, I see. This... on the art. This is the pre-war mood board that I sent over. I wanted to make sure I got some reasonably accurate clothing on there, as well as examples from anime of this period. It's supposed to quickly communicate what the data shows. According to the data, the average... And then... average anime protagonist from 1917 to 1930 is a black-haired, black-eyed person of... What should I pick? What anime should I download from that period?
How about this one? Uba Suteyama. Uba Suteyama. Oh, this one where he hides his mum from the weird government. I remember this one because I've watched all of them. Do I have that? Actually, hold on before I download it again. Ube. No. Okay, cool. Nice. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Bum 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 dum 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 do 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 do. Oh yeah, I didn't upload that TikTok to YouTube. Whoopsies. I'll do it later. Download. Yep. Cool. And that should download in just a sec. 7 seconds. I think I can wait that. Also, if you could hear that, that was my arm clicking. Because I'm made of brittle material. 3Cam30 joined. When was that? A while ago, I think. It is cool having people hang out though, if anyone's still hanging out. Just kind of like need someone there to be like, hey, keep working, don't stop, at least for a few hours. And then I'll like tidy the house or some shit and procrastinate. But at least I've edited the voiceover, which is a good start. If I can get like 4 minutes of editing done, like 4 minutes of the video done per day, I'll be in a really good situation, I think. I need to do that. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of dupes. Do. Let me do some Animal Crossing. Always makes you feel good. Do. They're gonna be tiny, they're old ass recordings. The data, the average anime protagonist from 1917 to 1930 is a black-haired, black-eyed person of no specific age. According to the data, the average anime... Ooh, I have that twice. According to the data, the average anime protagonist from 1917 to 1930 is a black-haired, black-eyed person of no specific age. According to the data, the average anime protagonist from 1917 to 1930 is a black-haired, black-eyed person of no specific age and sexuality, but they are Japanese. According to the data, the average anime protagonist from 1917 to 1930 is a black... According to the data, the average anime protagonist from 1917 to 1930 is a black... Okay, I'll cut there. Cut there. That should be correct. According to the data, the average anime protagonist from 1917 to 1930 is a black-haired, black-eyed person of no specific age and sexuality, but they are Japanese. This era was off. I mean, this is just perfect. But they are Japanese. Uba Su Uba Suteyama 1925. The data, the average anime protagonist from 1970 from Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. 19 From 1917 to 1930 is a 1930 1917 to 1930. Protagonist from 1917. Drop shadow. Slight motion. And that's not really good. 1917 to 1930 is a black-haired, black-eyed person. 30 is a black-haired, black-eyed person of no specific age and sexuality, but they are Japanese. This era was often in black and white. Whoopsies. Just threw that across the playing field. This era was often in black. Hold on, grab you. No, grab you. Paste you there. Same with this one. Paste you there. Just in case I want to use any more of that. Don't blue period right there. Black and white, and uses a lot of fables and fairy tales as a narrative basis. It was often in black and white and uses a lot of fables. Usagi. Do I have Usagi to Kame? Do I not have Usagi to Kame? Usagi to Kame is the tortoise and the hare, so I think that'll communicate really well that what's going on in this period. Is that scaled up? How'd they get such a high quality version of this? I mean, it's really high quality. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Good visuals is hard to come by at this time period, so... Usagi to Kame, I'm pretty sure it's just Usagi to Kame. 1924. Yeah, because it wasn't her. Tako no Hone might be good as just like general filler footage here. Where are you? Where is it? Hello? Where'd I put it? Oh, there. Still pretty small. I should get a very small scale up. What the fuck is that? History project. My god, man. I'm cropping that out. Like, I'll keep in as much credit as possible. I don't love when people put their own logo on animation they did not create. That always bothers me.
That's good though. Like this logo down here, I assume it's because it's owned by NFC or whatever, but the other one, nah. This era was often in black and white and uses a lot of fables and fairy tales as a narrative basis. This era is also primarily fables and fairy tales as a narrative basis. This era is as a narrative fairy tales as a I'm gonna cut like that, so you can see both the tortoise and the hare. Fairy tales as a narrative basis. You get the idea, like everyone's heard of the tortoise and the hare, so I think it works, and I think it's really cool that Japan had this too. No, not 2024. I put 1925, 1924. And fairy tales as a narrative basis. This era is also primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. And what was my problem with this? This era is also primarily historical comedies, so what was my issue with this? Why did I mark it as bad? This era is also primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. I think it's just because I'm really high-pitched at the beginning. So let me try and retake this line. And we'll see how badly I fuck it up on stream. Viola also did his era is also primarily his. Right, where is the script? Excuse me. Okay. Right. Let me deliver. Let me deliver first time round. So hopefully that comes through. This era is also primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. So hopefully that comes through. That's gotta be good, right? That's good? We do good here? We do good? Good times? This era is also primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. So hopefully that comes through. Primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that is probably better than my initial take. This era is also primarily historical comedies. This era is also primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. Comedies, so hopefully that. And that there, maybe? Historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. So hopefully that comes through. Nah, I think the whole retake is better. I'm gonna cut this to be like that. Historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. Yeah, and that was the line, right? Like, I didn't just, like, misread it, and that's why I needed to retake it. This era is also primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. Cool. Feels right. Oh, I just cracked my neck. Owie. Where's Tako Tohone? What's going on at the beginning of this one? Just someone playing tennis. I want a historical comedy, methinks. Let's put music back on. Historical comedy. I want someone that is a historical comedy. Lots of historical and comedy. I want historical comedy. Yes, comedy, demons, comedy, historical fantasy comedy, action comedy, comedy. I mean, Hanasaka Ji-san is a historical comedy. I think I'm going to use Hanasaka Ji-san. $1928.
Norama Najiji is a different one. Okay. I thought so. 1928. Is this... Which one's this? The Blossom Man. Yeah, okay. Obviously the quality is horrendous, but it be. There's nothing much I can do about that. This is 100 years old, nearly. Some of these are more than 100 years old, so... Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to close that. At least you have something to look at. My editing's a bit messy. Got stuff all over the screen. But you know how it be. I want a snack. I feel like I want a snack. That'll be my reward. What size are we talking? Small. Is it 300? Yeah. This is the new line, so I can clip that back together. I've passed 10 minutes though! Yippee! The video is 10 minutes long! That's a fourth of the way there, probably. Well, this section is... yeah, it's gonna... Yeah... I don't know how long it's gonna be. I just gotta work today though, which is lame. Otherwise, I'd probably just... I mean, I could just try and keep streaming for as long as I physically can. Till 4. Keep working. But equally, I should probably rest at some point. Before I go to work, otherwise I'm gonna die. This era is also primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that its own research, which is great because we had some level of bias when creating the movie as well. Primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that oh, they say. So hopefully that comes through. Viola also did his own. Do 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 do. 928 is also primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. Viola also did his own research, which is great because we had some level of bias when creating the mood boards, and he would pick up on his own trends or be inspired by different elements. So while he's historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. Viola also did his own research, which is great because we had some level of bias. What have I got that can just be a nice space filler here? I don't want it to just be the Vaporwave space filler. Viola also did his own research, which is great because we had some... Cut frequently. 2 seconds. It's enough. This is a good clip, actually. Which is great because we had some level of bias when creating the mood boards, and he would pick up on his own trends or... pick up on it. Creating the mood boards, and he would pick up on his own trends or be inspired by different elements. So while he's off doing that, is there like a good anime clip where someone's like just legging it? I think that would be funny. Do 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 do. Maybe I want big yawn. Maybe a clip from the Pet Color Sakura So could be good now. Joseph JoJo's is always a fantastic clip. Are there any good clips where he's running away? As what I was thinking would be fun. I think maybe something from this anime could be fun. And I'll only have to skip over like half of it because it can't be showed on YouTube or TikTok. They'll end me. TikTok already hates me. The Pet Girl of Sakura So, Episode 2, English dub. Save. Seriously, on TikTok I get a pop-up every time I stream, which is just like, you've done something bad. Do you want to appeal? And I go, yeah, I guess. And then they go, ha, fuck you. Basically, I added the same background I use on the TikToks, the kind of bar background to the stream, and it immediately went 18 plus. There is something so horrific on screen, it has to be 18 plus. That being the concept of alcohol. So that's not there anymore. It's just the same as the YouTube one with the vaporwave spinny background. How you doing, by the way? Hi, welcome. Straight to bitching about TikTok. Anyway. Doom. Which I am live on. Do. It's weird being live on both. I don't know how to, like, engage with both without it seeming crazy. Who are you talking to? You making up friends again? No, Mom, I swear they're real. So I get the camera, goes back here. Right. So I want... there's gotta be something fun here. That's probably fine, I think. For the while he's off doing that. That being whatever the fuck's happening here. Elements. So while he's off doing that, let's explore the data and... maybe not. It's not quite long enough. Good, working on podcast episode right now. Hell yeah! How's it going? It's not what I wanted. I guess I want a scene where they're not talking to each other and just kind of doing stuff. Delete that. Pet Girl Sakura So is fun. As an anime. Why the cabbages? I don't remember the context. That's RPG Maker! That's RPG Maker! I didn't know that was in here. He wants to be a game designer as part of the plot, so he's playing RPG Maker. Oh, yeah, this is the bit I want to keep. This is so funny. So while he's off doing that, let's explore the data and while he's off doing this. He's off doing that, there's no way. So part of the plot is he goes to pitch his game to companies towards the end, and he fails, and it's very dramatic, and then they make a game together as like a group, the main cast. Don't tell me he pitched this. I mean, it's very impressive to have added like a map element and all this extra stuff in RPG. I love RPG Maker, by the way. I fiddle around with it all the time and like make stuff, but like default asset RPG Maker, and you were like, this is it. This is the game I'm pitching. Hilarious. It's so funny. I didn't know that the first time I watched it. Oh my god. Anyway, primarily historical comedies, so hopefully that comes through. Viola also did his own research, which is great because we had some level of bias when creating the mood boards, and he would pick up on his own trends or be inspired by different elements. So while he's off doing that, so I spelled Sakura. So yeah. While he's off doing that, let's explore the data and history a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Data recording here. Cut that. Crop the top and bottom. I want it to be like kind of weird. And then zoom that in. Rotate it. Give it a brush stroke blur maybe. Doing that, let's explore the data and history a little bit more. This period. Let's explore the data and history. No, give me a little bit more. This period had 30 anime, give or take what we. And then blur that so it looks like this. That, let's explore the data and history a little bit more. This. I want the blur to happen slightly later, like here maybe. Let's explore the data and history a little bit more. Let's give it the text gittle so it's all wubble. Let's explore the data and history. And then I want the wubble to be a bit faster. Let's explore the data and history a little bit more. Can I ease into that? Ease in. And history a little bit more. This. I don't think you can see my click. That's fine. Let's explore the data and history a little bit more. This period had 30 anime. A little bit more. This period. So we're talking 19. Let me just double check. The period is 1917 to 1930. Cool. Let me throw that up here. 1917 to 1930. And I hate the font that I've gone with, so I'm deleting that. And I'm doing it again with this preset because I like it more. Wow. Wait, can I Control Shift V? Or just Shift V? Damn. 1917 to 1930. It had 30 anime, give or take what we could find, and spanned 13 years. It had the least women. Okay. This period had... Well, that can fade in, but I want it to be smaller and at the top. 30 period had 30. Drop shadow. 30. And then here 30 anime. Had 30 anime. Give or take what we could find and spend what we could find and cut there. Small boppin text Gittle, so it had 30 anime, give or take what we could find and spend. This, but I don't want the pop in. Yeah, delete that. "17 years." And then I will transition between that and that. Slide. Push. So this pops in. 30 anime, give or take what we could find and spend. 13. That's 13. Okay, I can count 13 years. So now all I need is the sound effects for those bits. I've already used pop quite a lot in this section, but it's fine. I like it. Doesn't matter. If it sounds like a lot, then I'll change it later. Boop. And then I just need the click, which is here. Do, 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 do. There you go. Is that lined up? Tell me you're lined up. That's fine. Period had 30 anime, give or take what we could find, and spanned 13 years. It had the least women. That's pretty good, I think. Not the least women of the three eras. Samurai were a common theme, and although they were only active 50 years before these were made, they very much put on folklore and older, more mythological interpretation. Yes, remove that. Get out of here, because I need to retake this line. But I do need to show that there was only 30... Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay. I think I can just grab this. Ugh, it already is my nap time. Open that back up. Click U. Data screenshot. It's freaking out a little bit. Oh, there you go. Enough of that. Oh, it's... Oh, no, it's doing that thing. Is it the data screenshot? Hold on, delete this. I've had this error before. It was that screenshot. Okay, so... Whatever's up with that screenshot, I can't import it the way I want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resave it as a different file type. What is it currently, a PNG or a JPEG? PNG. Let me save it as a JPEG. And see if that accepts it. What did I just save that to? Yeah, that is not the correct file.
Okay. And I drop you in and you don't freak out and crash everything. You are freaking out and crashing everything. Why? Why you like that? Okay. Do other things crash it? No. So something about this data screenshot that it does not like. That's number 2. And that crashes it. Okay. Let me try screenshotting it again. Data safe boy. Close that, close that. Drag you in. What? Why? I've had this happen before and there's just nothing I could do that could fix it. And be honest, I don't want to start this again. If I'm telling you. And other screenshots are fine. Like if I drag back in the blue flag video, that doesn't break it. That doesn't break it. What the fuck? Okay, I'm just gonna delete those. Delete that, delete that. Delete that. Cursed. Let me try... let me try the whole thing, but it's just the gender section. Da 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 ba ba ba. Gender section pre-war. Other screenshots are fine. Don't break it. Please be fine. I can screen. Okay. Okay. Cool. Technology cat indeed. It had the least women of the 3 eras. I'm gonna just kind of mess with it a little bit visually. Maybe I'll slow scale it too. Women of the 3 eras. Samurai. Slow scale. So it looks like this. It had the least women of the 3 eras. Samurai. Okay, cool. I do want in the turbulent display random seed, just like a couple of them, like that. It had the least women of the 3 eras. Cool, and now we're retaking this line. So, all together now, the samurai will come and all the... Right, okay. Save 1 million times, save 5,000 times. In fact, save as backup. Yeah. And now we're, wait, when I save that, when I save as, I want to save as on V2. Yeah. Save. Cool. I still got the backup. Okay. Where we at? Who am I? The logical interpretation of what a samurai was. Let's go. I've already lost my place. Wait, I lost my place. Where was I? Logical interpretation of what a samurai was. The samurai were a common theme, and although they were only active, only 4. God damn it! I messed that up so bad. It's 50 years. A logical interpretation of what a samurai was. Samurai were a common theme, and although they were active only 50 years before, and although they were active 50 years before these were made, they very much pull on folklore and older, more and the older, more mythological interpretation of what a samurai was. Some of that's gotta be useful. Doo-doo. I only want to replace this bit, so the rest is probably fine. Samurai were a common theme, and although they were active only 50 years before, these were made, they very much pull on folklore. You see, I messed that take up too. And although they were active 50 years before these were made, they very much pull on folklore and older, more before these were made. 50 years before these were made, they very much pull on folklore. I feel like making more excited. Samurai were a common theme, and although they were active only 50 years before, these were made, they very samurai were a common theme. Okay, well obviously that's better. And although they were active only 50 years before, 50 years, that's fine. Were only active 50 years before these were made. Maybe that's fine. So cut that. Throw this in here. The 3 eras. Samurai were a common theme, and although it's too loud also. Turn down a smidge. They were active only 50 years before these were made. And the older, more mythological before these were made, they very much pull on folklore and older, more mythological interpretation of what a samurai was. 50 years before folklore and older, more the older, more mythological interpretation of what a samurai was. You see, I delivered that. Maybe not too excitedly. I wanted to be more excited. Very much pull on folklore and older, more the myth on folklore and old 50 years before these they were only and although they were active 50 years before these were 50 years before these were made, they very much pull on. I like the delivery of this. These were made, so that's a bit down. This is a bit more exciting. So these were made. They very much pull on folklore. They very much, and then I want to use this section and the older, more mythological on folklore. Hope it's not too jarring. I could just redo the take, but I don't wanna. Very much folklore and older years before these were made. They very much folklore. They very much folklore. Made. They very much pull on. Very much pull on folklore and older, more. Though they were active. I'm just gonna try again. I'm just gonna do another take. I want to be more excited about it. I don't sound very excited in those takes, and it bothers me. So we're gonna do it again. Much. Samurai were a common theme, and although they were active only 50 years before these were made, they very much put on folklore and the older, more mythological interpretation of what a samurai was. That sounded better. Samurai were a common theme, and although they were active only 50 years before these were made, they very much put on folklore and they very much put on folklore and the older folklore and the other and the
and the older, more mythological interpretation of what a samurai was.
I think that'll do. I think that one will do.
Samurai were... And although they were active only... Samurai were a common...
More exciting?
eras. Samurai were a common theme, and although they were
Yeah. That's alright. They do folklore instead.
Samurai were a common theme, and although they were active only 50 years before these were made, they very much pull on folklore and the older, more mythological interpretation of what a samurai was.
I think that's the best take I've gotten so far. So I'm just gonna roll with that. Oh, I want a nap. I'm gonna go to work and just drink energy drinks there too. But I did that bit. Close the gap. Perfect, and this flows through to this well enough.
Was. One of the earliest anime, Namakura Gatana, is a comedy about...
I haven't even got to one of the earliest anime, Namakura Gatana. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Don't worry about it. Cracks my knuckles. Breaks my fingers. I think I'm going a little crazy.
eras. Samurai were a common theme, and although they were
So now I need something with samurai in it. What's a good example of... Kaomori? Samurai? Kaomori 1930. Quality of that might be too low. What about Oranasaki? Is that on there? Oranasaki. Yeah, it is. That's just animal skiing. Just found another anime that we missed. I hate that. There is a few missing, which sucks, but you know what? We've done the data bit now. It is what it is. If there is huge amounts missing, maybe we can update the spreadsheets later.
active only 50 years.
Samurai. Taku no Hone might have some samurai. That is the Pet Girl of Sakura, though. They're not necessarily samurai, he's definitely a samurai.
Samurai were a common theme, and although they were active only 50 years, they were active only 50.
Am I happy with that? I don't know, I think I'm going a bit crazy. I might go lie down before I have to go to work. I keep thinking about it because, like, I don't want to be too tired to do that, and then I'll come back. Maybe I'll stream later, actually. Taku no Hone. Okay, yeah. I think that's what I'll do. I did the voiceover today. And I edited the voiceover, recorded it yesterday, and I've done this much. So I've done about a minute extra. So it took me about an hour to do the voiceover, and then I spent an hour doing another minute. Hopefully this evening I can maybe stream and do more, which is part of my plan, because I need to get this done. But for now, adieu. I'm gonna go lie down.